Hi everybody. I started going through I got a happy mail from Laura Vasquez, which I already opened the box and I started going through the things, and she sent me a bunch of a bunch of pieces of fabric. These two are large pieces which are going to be awesome for, well, what she sent a card. In the card she says, I'm so glad you are making your journal wraps. I also included some bigger pieces of fabric. I love how you use everything and how much you give to others. Wishing you much love and happiness always, from Laura. And I love the card. The card's beautiful. That's going to go into one of my I think I'm going to go live pretty soon and just kind of show a little bit about not pretty soon today, but a little bit I can show about my memory wraps, how they'll be used. But I love this. This is like a upholstery, and look how beautiful that is. And so this would be so perfect in one of my wraps, and that's what that's going to be used for. And this one too is like a heavier, like a duck cloth. It's almost feels like the feed sack kind of fabric. But what I'm doing is I'm going through since lately I use a lot of strips. So what I'm doing is I'm going through the fabrics that she included in this gift, and I'm making strips. I'm making strips because I use more strips than anything. This one here, let me show you. So I got a pile of strips here. This here is little quilt pieces, so I'm putting them in that stack. This is the whole pieces, and over here in this stack is just the is smaller pieces and pieces that I use in my lacy journal wraps. And so what I'm doing is I'm making strips. Now some of the pieces, see, so then I got, and they're just strips of different widths. They're not all the same. Now this piece I'll save for to make the center piece. And then this one. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of sorting what she's sending. I don't want to just look through it and then just pile it back in the box. I want to. And see that piece there? That one will this one will go into the scrap bat pile that will work on the lace, the lace covers. But oh, this is nice. This feels really nice. Which way does this one go? I feel I think it goes this way for the grain. This is a very lightweight. This is a nice fabric, beautiful print, and a nice fabric. So, oops, that one, I cut that the wrong way. So let's put that in that stack, and I'll just go like this. There we go. So I have that strip, this strip, and this strip. And see, I do need different length strips depending on if it's, now this one will be good to start in the middle. When I start in the middle, I can start with that triangular piece. Usually you start on a crazy quilt, you usually start with a 5-sided piece, but you can start with any kind of, this one here, I just finished this one This one is, well, I finished. I don't have the ties on yet. But this one I made with all Valentine fabric. It's got 2 pockets in there. And this one I made a little, each one turns out a little bit different though. Once I get the you know, I do this quilting on it the same. And this one here, I use the stitch that's got the little hearts on it. You can't hardly see the stitch, but it's got little hearts in the stitch, so I went along each seam with the hearts, and I put little edgings on the sides. The top is still raggedy. This top is, and I'm going to leave it that way, where the top is like frayed, and and this was cute because it's all Valentine themed kind of fabrics. But this one Valentine fabric that I had, it was all negative about Valentine's Day, but this one just said, this one piece says no thanks. I thought it was pretty funny. That one's right in there. So some people say no thanks. And these are from that. But and so, oh, and here's some more pieces of the already pieced pieces. These ones are smaller. Oh, how pretty. This one here is already a strip. Put that in the strip pile. This one here is like quilting. I will use these when I find something that's pieced like this, and it's already pieced like a quilt piecing. Well, I'll cut that into a strip and use that for a strip too. But right now I'm going to put that in the quilting piece. Oh, this is nice. This is real nice. This piece. It's like a satin almost. That's beautiful. It's very shiny. That's beautiful. Oh, I love this. That's just beautiful. Put that here. This is what keeps me alive and well. Is oh, look at this with the polka dots. I love fabrics. I love playing with fabrics. I love creating things with fabrics, and any kind of textile art is what I think. I just got into that, and I just love it. I still do paper. But more fabric than anything. Look at that. This is pretty with them polka dots. This would be a good one, a good color for when I'm doing something like creating an image, like a landscape or something, image with fabric. That would be a good one to use for that. Oh, and this. Oh, this is going to be good too. This is going to be good in, oh, look at how long them pieces are. Long strips. So I can rip that right into a strip. And not a smidgen. Not even a smidgen will go to waste. Not even a smidgen. Everything will be used. Of all sizes will be used. And when I get scraps like this, it's just so much easier to use because the scraps are already scrapped. So you're not using valuable yardage of fabric, and I feel like I know I'm not, but I feel like, oh, I'm wasting it. I got two yards of this. I really won't use that because might need it for something else, and then it just sits there and collects dust. And so I don't want to do that. So, but I like having my strips ready when I start another project. I'll have so many um, memory wraps done. I could probably tie them all together, sew them all together, and make a big old blanket. Who knows? Who knows what you would do with them? And see, now this one is narrower at one end than at the other, and that's okay because that'll work perfect in what I do with him. And so it was a little wide, so I'm going to go ahead and get that one into a smaller piece. We actually have rain today. It's just started raining, and we haven't had any significant rain in like a long time. So I know that the wildlife is loving it, and the plants and the weeds are happy that our lawn is what you call weed heaven. But it's so hard to get grass to grow in this sand. And so, oh, look at this. I had a piece of this fabric. It was probably from World War II. But I love this. Isn't this beautiful? Now, if this was on a journal, because I like to take a piece of beautiful fabric as the inside of the journal wrap, and then I put in a piece like a flannel or something to give it some substance, and then work the quilting, work the crazy quiltish stuff. I don't want to call it crazy quilt because I'm probably not doing it right for crazy quilt, but yeah, you heard what I said. Okay, and there's some more of this. Oh, look at this. I've had a piece of this too, so I must have got that also from. I must have had that also from Laura. Oh, look at that. See? And then when you just tear it and make it into the strips are just ready to go. Just ready. So anyway, I hope everybody's having a good day. I just took a nap. That's why my hair is in this beautiful arrangement here. I take my naps, and this morning after my nap, I sat out in the yard. Papa put me a chair like right out the back door, so I don't have to walk far to get out to that place to sit. And there was just a cool breeze. It felt so good. And so I sat out there in the yard, and it was just so nice. Papa worked on my legs a little bit for me. I got this terrible thing. You know, they used to call in the olden days, they call it the dropsy. Yeah, I got that dropsy going on in my legs, and that's very uncomfortable. But then the skin just, my skin on my legs, it just dries out, so it's like an alligator. And so Papa uses like a pumice almost and gets that dry skin off and lotions it up nice. Ooh, look at this. See how pretty that is? That's beautiful. I don't think this will tear, so I'm not going to try tearing that. That's beautiful. That and that stuff. Ooh, and what's this? Oh, this is like a piece of oh, it's a ruffle. It's like a ruffle off of the edge of something. This is pretty. Okay, that's a long piece too. And it's like a organza fabric. Oh, I like that. how can I incorporate that into a journal cover? Just give me a few minutes and I'll think of something. Okay. And here's another piece of the, I don't know if I would call that green, blue. It's very like color changing as it, oh, this is pretty. This is a large piece. You see how that is pretty? That is pretty. I don't know what it's called, but it's pretty. So this I won't tear it, I'll cut it into strips. But having a strip of this, like here and there, in a crazy patch, that will really pretty. It'll pop really nicely. Look at these little stars. And now these are like little scraps, but look at the fabric. These are little scraps, but the fabric is gorgeous. You know what? These are hexagons. The hexagon. Are they all hexagons? They're all folded. Hexagons. I gotta iron them. Iron them, and those are all hexagons. That's pretty. Oh, that rain sounds so beautiful out there. Just beautiful. Papa went out and covered up the hens, covered the chickens, because in there, what we call a chicken tractor, their chicken coop is called a chicken tractor because it's movable. It's got wheels, and but we've got a big tarp that goes over the whole thing when it comes a rain, and so these are all hexagons. And so he went and covered them up so they're all cozy inside now their little tent covered chicken tractor. They're getting so big. They're getting so big, and we buy them. We just had a delivery yesterday from Amazon. We buy them grub worm. Grub worms? Is that what they're called, Papa?
No.
They're called something. They're not grub worms. They're some kind of dried worms anyway. And they're very ooh, that's nice. They're very nutritious for the birds. They've got a lot of protein. So we add that to their feed. I mean, they get their feed, it's always available. And what do they call him?
Dried black soldier fly larva.
Fly larva?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's fly larva. I don't know. I call them grub worms.
Yeah,
they're just worms, but they're dried. And, yeah, that's a long piece of orange. Oh, good. That's pretty. See, I like to have, like, oh, it matches me. I like to have in not only the the fashion fabric, the fabric with trims, but when I have like the fabric that's solid, like here, that pink is solid right there, then my fancy stitches show up on it real good. So I like to always have a little bit of a solid color, and then the then yes, and then so that's where this solid comes in really, really nice. Oh, and this is black satin. Black satin. That would show up the trim because I always use my threads. I use the multicolored thread, and so it just changes color constantly. So when like this that I used on the hearts on the Valentine looking one, each heart is a different color because that's the thread. And another piece of black satin. Oh, look at this. That's a strip. That looks vintage, doesn't it? Isn't that pretty? Those are strips all ready to go, so that goes in my strip pile. Oh, look how cute is this. With the little monkeys. That's cute. Thank you, Laura. I just loved it. And because I want to do some memory wraps with children with fabric that you would think about children, and this would work on that too. Because I was talking in my last video how I want to do some children wraps, children themed memory wraps for especially like for moms with grade school children, and you seem to want to save every piece of their papers and stuff. This kind of fabric here, that's fun fabrics like this, that will make some real pretty strips in one of those. Oh, this is a nice weight too. This is pretty. Look at that brown and white. Oh, I like that. Isn't that pretty? That's nice. And it's a nice weight. It's like a duck cloth. I don't really know the differences in fabric, but I just kind of call like a duck cloth is almost like a canvas, and I know there's a whole bunch of different names for fabric, but I don't really know all the names. Oh, and then this one's just like that other one, just different colors. It's gray with pink. Isn't that pretty? Looks blue, but it's gray with pink. That's pretty. That's very pretty. Wow. Now this is like a light lavender. What is this fabric? This is almost feels like an organza. It's very thin and it's almost transparent. I'll have to, yeah, you can lay this over a very colorful fabric and still see through it. And that's what I like to use. This is heavier than organza, but it's will work the same way. Now these, oh, how cute. Look at this. And that's a strip of carousel horses. Isn't that pretty? I'll enjoy ironing these. I love to iron. I wasn't going to replace my little tiny iron, but I think I might be going to because this means I gotta go to my big ironing board and big iron. I love that. That's so pretty. This here, see, that's a sign of Stacy. I've got so many safety pins by buying fabrics from Stacy. And I put my safety pins all in this little thing right here. I got a whole bunch of them. And these are all squares. So she got these from Stacy. I can tell that. I'm like partly a detective. Or maybe she shops at the same place Stacy does. I don't know. There's a little piece of scrap of. Now that fabric feels like the feed sack fabric. Oh, that's actually a hexagon too. Oh, and then these are pieces from a book of fabric samples, and I like these. I've used a lot of these, and what I've done with these is I've put them together, leave the paper on, put them together, two matching pieces together, and I stitch them together. So this is the front and this is the back. And then you can fold the whole thing in half and have a small journal. And this makes the perfect covers. And because they've got the paper inside, they're glued to the paper, that gives them some more stability. And it makes the cutest little tiny little journals if you're a tiny journal kind of a person. And so here's, oh my gosh, look how pretty. Look at that. How that is so pretty. This one doesn't have the paper on the back. Oh, that is pretty. And these are almost like they're embossed. That's pretty. These are beautiful. These are really beautiful. Now see, I can cut these right down the center and have a strip and this long. And by having a strip that long, I can use that in my crazy quilt, my crazy patch going on stuff, and perfect. Perfect. Look at this one. That's pretty. I love them with those lines going like that. Those are pretty. That one's still got the paper on. So, yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's all I can say, Papa. Oh my gosh. Here's some smaller pieces. So these are, I'd like to see what everybody does with their, I know when Stacy has a sale, she sells a lot of these books that are nothing but samples. And I'd like to get more ideas of what people do with these beautiful samples, because they are just precious. They are just beautiful. Just beautiful. Here is, look at that. It's like a piece of fabric to make look like a quilt. Put that in the quilt pile. Ooh, here's a piece of real beautiful. This is, oh, makes me think of babies. Seersucker, and look at that, baby blue. I used to make, I don't know, my babies, when they were babies, they all wore a lot of kimonos, and I would make kimonos out of like seersucker or flannel. And now people dress their babies like they're miniature adults, and which is cute as ever. You know, that's cute as ever. But I kind of miss when babies were dressed in like a kimono or that kind of things. And but I would start sewing when whenever I'd realize there's a baby on the way, I'd start sewing and I'd make what we called their layette. And so and when you made their layette, you had kimonos, you had undershirts, you had just everything you needed for an infant baby. Uh, the burp rags and the receiving blankets, and so you'd have the whole layette. And but now I don't think they even call them a layette anymore. When you get up in your years, you know, it's just everything's different. So, oh, and there's a piece of quilted fabric already. It's quilted. It's already 2 layers of fabric with a batting in the middle, and it's already quilted. That's pretty. Oh, this must. Oh, feel that breeze coming in, Papa? That feels
Yeah.
good.
Shoot.
We have our, yeah, Papa says it's almost chilly. And look at these ones now. These are nice. Very nice. Oh, don't shut the doors.
I'm not going to.
Oh, I love we're always raised in a barn, me and Papa, and so we like our doors open. When the kids come over, we shut the doors and turn the air conditioner on for them because, yeah, because they need artificial air. Me and Papa, we don't need that artificial stuff. This is nice. This is a nice feeling on this. Almost like it's woven. Oh, look at that one. Isn't that pretty? These are pretty. Thank you, Laura. Oh my word. Ooh, this one's fuzzy. That's fuzzy. Can you see the fuzzy? Yeah, I know you can. Look at that. What do they call that? They call it something. There's a word. There's a word for that. There's an app for that. See, there's not so many words anymore. Now there's apps. There's an app for that. It's funny. When you've lived 73 years and you just look back at all the changes, children that were born in the, there's children that were born in 2000s, that are already could be 22 years old or whatever, 23 or something. They just don't know. They don't see the changes. Everything that has been going on since they's born is this. Look at that. I gotta make a postcard that for my friend Carol. And these go well on postcards too. If you make fabric postcards. Ooh, look at that one. But yeah, these children, a lot of our children now, they don't understand. They don't understand that you can go out in the street and play a game with a tin can. They don't get that. These are awesome. Thank you so much, Laura. These are so beautiful. And then some more of these are so pretty. Ooh, 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 at the bottom of the box. Look at this. That is pretty. That is real pretty. That's a long piece, too. That's a couple yards long. Yeah, that's probably 2 yards long. That is beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, sweetie pie. Okay, sweetie pie. And then here's a large piece too. And again, a heavy. This is a heavy. And this feels like the feed sack. Dry cleaning. Ooh, dry cleaning recommended. That's pretty. That's pretty. 100% cotton. Why would it be dry clean only? I don't know. But I'm not into all that dry cleaning stuff. That's pretty. That, you know, I I see where feed sack fabric is becoming very popular, and people are like looking for it, and it's like finding a needle in a haystack to get that stuff. And so I ordered a feed sack fabric from eBay just because, which I paid too much for it, and but I just wanted to see what is the feed sack fabric, and which I don't have the piece right here, but when I got the fabric, I shouldn't say not impressed. I didn't feel like it was worth what I paid for it, and I thought, what can you do with a feed sack fabric that you can't do with any other fabric? And so that I need information on that. I think only that because it's only because it's vintage. Maybe that makes it worth a lot more money. But to me, fabric is fabric. Some is heavy, some is light, some is shiny, some is silky, some is see-through, some is not. But is it? Well, you got a raincoat, honey. And so when I think of feed sack, let me show you what I think of feed sack. When I think of feed sack, I think of what comes to my mind, is a feed sack. I came from a farm upbringing up until I was 14, and I seen feed sacks. I seen them, gunny sacks, feed sacks. I saw them firsthand back then. I still remember them. And now flour sacks would come in more. My grandmother bought flour in 50-pound bags. They came in a fabric bag. Those ones, she'd wash that fabric and make clothes out of it. And they were always a nice print. But feed sacks, just a minute, let me get this undone so I can show you this. This is a feed sack to me.
Yes, it is.
This is a feed sack. If you can see that. That's a feed sack. That's what feed came in. And so when I think of a feed sack, this is what I think of. And like, look at on this one even, there's a patch on there. These can be used and reused for feed. This says Midwest seamless bag. There's no seam in this bag. There's no seam at all, except at the bottom, of course, and at the top. There's a seam. But this is no seam in it. This is when I think of feed sacks, this is a feed sack. And so, and I want to make a journal. I want to make a journal using the feed sacks, what I call feed sacks, which are feed sacks. I want to wash these up. They weren't washed before I got them. This one is from Salt. Let's see. This one says 100 pounds. This was 100 pounds of salt from the Diamond Crystal Salt Company, St. Clair, Michigan. But that's the salt bag. Look at the worn edge right there. Isn't that beautiful? This is going to make such a beautiful journal cover. And when it's done, you will know that it is a feed sack. Some of the feed sacks that I see people selling now, I just don't know how people would even know it was a feed sack. And that's not saying anything bad or nothing. It's just the way it is, in my opinion. In my humble opinion. That one. And then this one is a Master Layer Concentrate from the Division of Central Soya Company Incorporated Mules, Memphis, Tennessee, Decatur, Indiana, Gibson something, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Marion, Ohio, and U.S. Patent Office something. Layer Concentrate. So I don't know if that, because it says layer concentrate, completely fortified. For our chickens, we buy layer, well, we don't buy layer mash right now, we buy growing mash for them. But once they start laying eggs, they're going to get layer mash. And I wonder if this was 100 pounds of actual layer. I don't know. We have to look that up. Layer concentrate. Master mix. So, but look how long that bag is. It's a long bag. So I can get a lot of journal covers out of this bag. This is amazing. I just, just feeling this stuff. I got crumbs all over me. That's okay. I don't mind. Then this one is a heavier bag. This one is, God, this one here has actually got some kind of seeds stuck all over it. Some kind of seeds. So this one come right out of somebody's barn. And this one, this is also a seamless bag. There's no seams in this bag. Bemis A Extra Heavy Seamless is the brand of is the bag. That's the people that made the bag. So I don't know. It's not. It's. Whew, I can't hardly hold my arms up anymore. Man, there's a lot of stuff I used to could do when I was young, and I can't do it now. But this is folded in half. So this is what I call feed sack. When I first started hearing people say, "Oh, I'm going to be selling feed sacks," I thought, "Ooh, I'm hearing you." And then, but this is feed sacks, in my humble opinion. So I gotta wash them. Okay, now back to the stuff from Laura. I'm almost done with that. I have interruptions in my brain. And then she has more squares. These, I get out of breath, so these, more squares. Oh, this I'll rip in half to make strips. That'll be strips. Piece, you go that pile. Squares. Ooh, look at this piece. Isn't that pretty? Stretchy. Stretchy. Some orange. Oh, look at this. That looks like almost like a farmer fabric, but like Dutch. That's pretty. It's a circle. And then this is a circle, but a bigger circle. That's pretty. Okay. Now, y'all, that is everything from that box. And an extra because I showed you my feed sacks. And but see, most of my covers are like this, with just assortment of different fabrics. This one's made on the back of using a found at the thrift shop placemat. And this is the size that I really think my memory wraps are going to mostly be. Now see, this is small. So you can see how much smaller this one is than this. See? So, but this is why I like the strips right now. I'm using a lot of strips. And so, but anyway, I'm having fun. I am having a blast, I'm telling you. And those feed sacks was a blast from the past. And so now, and so, oh, I have a dog at my feet. Hi, little bit. Hi, little bit. Is your mama working? I don't have any dogs anymore, but I'd have to have a dog at my feet because neighbor dogs, my daughter's dogs, my grand dog, kind of just sticks right here with grandma, especially if it's raining. Especially when it's raining. Oh man, I bring my. Okay, hang on, you guys. Just hang on to your boots there for a minute. Hang on to your boot straps. Well, I don't have wait a minute. I gotta find my little mouse. Hang on a minute here. Okay, I returned. I had to take a long walk from here to there and get this book.
And all the way back.
Yeah, and all the way back. Chicken Soup for the Soul, Angels Among Us. And there's proof that there's angels among us just by this beautiful box of fabrics from Laura, which I absolutely love and appreciate it. I am so grateful, and they are beautiful. So, did somebody come in?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a young lady.
okay. I can't end my video without something to read. So here I have my book, Chicken Soup for the Soul, and this one is the Angels Among Us. This story is called Delivered by Angels. I haven't read it yet, so we're going to see what they say. But because it's only 2 pages, I figured I'll do this one. I bolted upright in bed, feeling pressure and a stabbing pain, and then breathed a sigh of relief. I was expecting my 3rd child and had been hospitalized on Mother's Day with intense labor. By evening, it was declared false labor, and I was discharged. Now, 48 hours later, at 2 a.m., I had a fluid discharge. My delivery day had finally arrived. My overly huge baby bump hung from my petite body so heavily that to get out of bed, I had to roll onto my side, sit up, and dangle my feet over the side, plant them firmly on the floor, and then support my stomach as I stood up. Ooh, so many of us have done that. As I reached for the phone, I realized I was bleeding profusely and could be having an at-home delivery with no assistance. My husband worked nights and my 2 young children were asleep. I wrapped myself in the sheets until help arrived. The minister's wife took my children to her home, and I was rushed to the hospital. As I was being admitted, I detected concern in the voices of the staff, suggesting this was not a routine delivery. I had a rare blood type and needed transfusion. A supply was ordered from the blood bank and was on its way. Further tests revealed that the baby was in distress, and I was rushed to X-ray. My doctor gently delivered the sad news. The cord was wrapped multiple times around the baby's neck, and enlarged tumors or growths were blocking the birth canal. Your baby is dead and your life is in jeopardy. A surgeon was on his way. Meanwhile, the doctor said gently, if you have anything to make right, this is the time. Holy smokes. I replied, no, it's okay. I do this every day. As I was wheeled into surgery, I noticed on the big clock that it was 8 o'clock a.m. Anesthesia was administered, and I drifted into oblivion. My body was living on the operating table, while a spiritual replica floated above. The operating wall opened into a massive dark tunnel. A glass smooth sea appeared at the end of the tunnel. Beyond the sea, at the top of a high hill, I saw a city surrounded in white lights. As my spirit body was being drawn by angels into the tunnel, I said, I can't go now. My 2 young children need me. When I opened my eyes, I was in the hospital bed in a private room. A nurse came in and quickly announced to the staff, she's awake. Then she turned to me and said, we're bringing your baby. Remembering the doctor's words, I thought she had the wrong room, and I whispered, I don't have a baby. I did, but I've been asleep for 2 days. The nurse explained that during the surgery, when the monitor began, excuse me, the phone. The nurse explained that during the surgery, when the monitor began the steady sound of death, my surgeon fell to his knees, held up his gloved hands, and prayed. He must have seen the angels too, because he rose quickly and continued operating, saving both of us. The tumors were surgically removed. All were benign. After a few days of recovery and observation, my healthy baby girl and I were going home. And that was written by Vi Parsons. And there you go. I believe too. I believe in the spirits. I believe in the prayer is healing, and it's wonderful. So um, I thank you all for watching, even with my not perfect form of whatever it is, and I thank you so much, Laura, for these beautiful fabrics, and I will be using them absolutely, and they will be so much fun. This is beautiful. This feels like a, well, anyway. Okay. I ask God to watch over you every step you take, every move you make, keep you safe, keep you secure, keep you happy, healthy, and humble, and bring you back to the next video. And thank you so much again, Laura. You are an angel. Angel among me. Angel among me. God bless.